used the staff of the foundation who came up with a number of good ideas. But one of the things that we felt was important was that as my wife and I get older and are not able to manage the fund, we wanted to have our kids continue on and have them become interested in it if possible. And so a few years ago we decided that we'd take and ask the kids to make selections of gifts or that could be made from the fund, so I've each year I ask set aside some money out of the proceeds that we would normally be making grants, and have each of my 3 kids select something that they have that they're interested in, or and have the grant go to them. Now, since all 3 of them are not in the Hartford area, we're unfortunately not going to have the benefit of the gifts going directly to the Hartford area. But what will happen is that these will be gifts that will be given in their name, whether it's down in Princeton for one son or up in Boston area for my daughter or the other son. And so for the past 5 years or so, they've each made grants from the fund, and it's good because they're now getting used to, and they have their own giving funds that they do, but this is something that now is becoming more important to them. Just one little thing, my son Rick has a group of guys that like to go out and play golf, and they go off for the weekend and play. And he recently set up they had a tournament, and decided that the winner of the tournament would make a selection from the prize money that they had in the tournament, and make it as a donation to a local charity. And I just he would never have thought of something like that had we not started him, I think, on the idea of making gifts standard gifts of charity. As far as looking to the future for the family, we're my daughter and 2 sons are married. They have and we have grandchildren. They have children, and as a matter of fact, those grandchildren are getting close to to thinking about getting married themselves. They've all been relatively successful, and I think that one of the things that we are hopeful is that they'll continue to be successful in terms of their health and welfare, but also that they do continue on the charitable giving that we've been able to start working with them on. And as I say, I think from some of the things we've seen that that is the case, that they do think of others as things come up, and they have so that the giving that we set through the fund we had here, we hope will be extended to something that they'll be doing themselves in their area of the country where they're living. In addition to the scholarship fund and the donor designated fund, some years ago we decided that we would participate in the gift annuity that the foundation sets up, or had set up. And the benefit of that was that this would continue a certain level of income. It was on my wife, for my wife, certain level of income to her for a period of years, and then the residual amount of the annuity would be passed on to the foundation. So this is a deferred gift that will be coming to the foundation, which I think is in 2021. The reason we decided to go ahead and do that particular program was that it had the benefit, well, it had really threefold benefits. One is there was a tax benefit for us in terms of a deduction. There is the fact that it is a continuing income over the period of time of the annuity. And then finally, the residual benefit of the annuity will go in a single, as a single item amount to the foundation. So, but there really, it's a threefold reason for accomplishing that, or doing that. What will people say about me? Well, I'm not sure anybody's going to remember, but at any rate, I just hope that that they think about the work that we've been able to accomplish, or the benefits that we've been able to accomplish through the funds that we have at the foundation. That's going to have a continuing benefit. The fund we started has grown substantially from the original amount we put in, and will continue on for an indeterminate amount of time, because it will go on once we pass on. My kids will have will provide direct support, and actually will be doing some of the selection of grants. But then once it goes beyond them, we'll end up with a direct gift to the foundation as an unrestricted gift. When I retired, I really did not want to just go home and sit and do nothing. I didn't want to end up as a golfer, just 100%. I was interested in, as I had indicated before, I'm really interested in trying to continue to help people, and I found that the thought that maybe I could make use with some of the experiences that I had in business and really accomplish a charitable purpose by providing some time. So I started work, and actually was in charge of, the foundation was very good in that they said, here's a project, why don't you run with it. The first thing that I worked on was the scholarship program that the foundation had, and we built, added to the scholarships that the foundation was making, and we set up some programs with some outside entities, and I worked on that for several years until it got too much for one person, and the foundation hired in a director, and that's gone. Tremendous job that they've done beyond that. And then I was working with the nonprofit support program, helping them to actually working on some programs with some of the financial things that we were doing. And I then started working with technology, and built a program of technology grants, and we made technology grants to nonprofit agencies. I worked with that for about 15 years, and time just kept on going. It's been tremendously rewarding for me. I've gotten to meet some wonderful people in the nonprofit community, and have really enjoyed working with them. And I think to a certain extent we've accomplished something. I've been able to do this. I have worked with the foundation on a pro bono basis, and since I felt I wanted to help and and not work for compensation. I did that for 43 years, and I retired, and I was ready to do something that I felt would be helpful, and so that the money was, for me, was not important. And that the next thing I knew, it was 20 years, and it's been a wonderful time, and have, I think, accomplished quite a bit. But one of these days, it's going to be time to retire, I think. As far as any that I've worked directly with, no, because the programs I've had have been working with the agencies directly, and not necessarily the clients of the agencies. I get an opportunity to see what happens and the things that the program that their clients do accomplish, but not necessarily any one individual person, unfortunately. I would like to, but there are so many that we're working with that it's hard to. We, of course, have been residents of Greater Hartford, and primarily West Hartford, for just about my whole life, so I haven't had an opportunity to see a lot of other communities. Hartford is an interesting place. It's a real dichotomy of with the inner city problems that exist, and some of the and in the suburbs there's perhaps a little bit of excess affluence, but I think that the community is a good one. We've enjoyed it here. There's and as I look to the future, we see. I think with some of the work that the work that's happening in the school system, with the programs that the foundation has, that we're hopefully going to get a turnaround and a better result coming from the inner city, which I think will then do a great job of making the overall community raise the level of education, raise the level of affluence, and in general